let's do this. What's going on, everybody? It's your buddy, it's your pal Spaz Phoenix, and this is FLIX, and I guess this is going to become a habit too, doing trailer reactions, especially trailer reactions that are for stuff that I'm tripping over my words because I'm excited, that are for stuff that I am really looking forward to, and I threw on a filter on YouTube. I said movie trailers in the past 24 hours, didn't realize that the trailer for Scream 6 was going to drop. I love Scream, the whole fucking series. Now you can go back to the OGs, so to speak. I spoke in my last trailer prediction thing about Halloween and Halloween Ends that just came out on Blu-ray not too long ago. I don't understand the hate that it's getting. But like Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees, Charles Lee Ray, Freddy Krueger, all the OGs, right? For them to exist in their time, and then for Scream to come along and be a parody but still be a terrifying thing in and of its own right, I think is a fantastic thing. I think the fact that they've looped back, they've gone trope upon trope upon trope, is an absolutely fantastic thing that I don't think has been replicated by any other series other than Saw. And yes, when I get a proper trailer for Saw X or Saw 10, whatever they're calling it, you are going to get a trailer reaction for me, from me for that as well, because that is also another thing I'm looking really forward to, slightly more than I was for Spiral, not gonna lie. Anyways, coming back to my point, I think the brilliance of Saw is how it overlaps and overlaps and overlaps. You watch the one, and this is what I tell people that don't like gory movies. First of all, don't go for the gore, go for the story, go for the psychology, but watch the first one. When you watch the second one, you'll think differently about the first one. When you watch the third one, you'll think differently about the first two. When you watch the fourth one, you'll look differently about the first three, etc., etc., etc. And it keeps looping back. And yes, I understand that that's kind of necessary because they killed the main villain in the third movie, but they still wanted to keep him in the movie, so flashbacks were kind of essential. Scream, by nature of being this big meta parody thing that it is, the first one made fun of horror movies. The sequel made fun of sequels. The third made fun of trilogies. And then, you know, things went into themselves and into themselves and into themselves. We finally got to Scream 5, which was just called Scream because annoyingly movie series tend to do that occasionally, where you have to have like Scream and then like 2021 or 2022, whenever it came out. This one is Scream 4. I love even the logo. I love how they've cut up the M just so that the two bloody parts of the M make the 6. I love all the kitschy, gimmicky shit of this. But Scream 5 or Scream 2020, whenever it came out, finally took aim at the idea of reboots or reboots/sequels, when I think in the movie they actually call it a requel, which isn't a word, but the whole idea of passing the torch, having a new audience, having a new cast, having a new main character, having a new target, because, you know, Neve Campbell / Sidney Prescott isn't going to be around forever. Establishing these new characters, these new main characters with this new, that are pulling from the lineage of the old movies, but from a different place, was really cool. And now we get the first part of another thing, and I don't know what that thing is called, but the idea of sectioning movies. The only example I can really think of is Lord of the Rings or Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park is 6 movies, but there's definitely the 3 Jurassic movies and the 3 Jurassic World movies. With Lord of the Rings, you know, one continuous story, you know, 2 different things. Like there's the Hobbit trilogy and the Lord of the Rings trilogy, even though they're all really one continuous lineage, one continuous, this word is overused these days, but one continuous universe, one continuous world that we're all playing around in. So now, with, I don't believe Neve Campbell is in this. I do believe, what's her name? Jenny Ortega, who's getting really popular right now because of the Wednesday show, is in this. I do think we're slowly, it seems like we're slowly shifting to not only a new set of young kids, but a new set of young kids with a reason that the Scream character or the Ghostface character is now going after them. I do think it's kind of cool. We got rid of David Arquette in the last movie. Spoilers if you haven't seen the last one, but why are you watching this preview? I think that having, what's her name, Courtney Cox, the hottest person to come out of the Friends show. Don't at me. The fact that we have her in it in what I'm gonna slyly predict is gonna be her last movie. I think this is where she eats it. I think you might get it, and I think this would piss off a lot of people, you might get it that Neve Campbell has just sort of dropped off the face of the earth, because if she's in a movie, nobody else can be the main character. We saw that in 5. We were introducing the new characters, but Neve Campbell was still there. She was still there being Sidney Prescott. Having Courtney Cox in here, she's their loop, their lace from the last movie, I guess you could say, to say, you know, hey, I've been here before and all that kind of thing. She's really good. I think her role in the Scream movies is incredibly underrated, if I'm completely honest, because you're kind of supposed to hate her because she's kind of a, you know, the pain in the ass, like vulture reporter type person, but also ends up being the best friend of Sidney Prescott and partner in, like, let's get rid of the Ghostface guy. Anyways, the new characters that were established in the last movie, because one of them was the illegitimate child of one of the killers from the first movie, means that we didn't just pick a random new handful of kids to go after. The fact that one of the kids is the niece of Randy, who was the movie expert, who's literally taken on that role in the new movie, like James McAvoy taking over from Patrick Stewart as the new Professor X. Like, she literally is the new Randy character. We have a new main, and I can't think of the character's name from the last movie, which makes me really terrible. But we have basically the one that's playing the new Sydney character, and it's not because she was victimized for so long, it's because she has a familial tie to the original killer, which feels familiar because she's got depth in the story, but at the same time it's different because the connection itself is different. I think this is going to be one of those go big or go home type of ideas. People say Jurassic Park lost the plot in the first movie that took dinosaurs off the island and had a T-Rex running around New York, because if you go anywhere in a big city, it's typically going to be New York, is it not? Even though, as a little bit of a bias insert here, a lot of movies that take place in New York are filmed in Toronto. Oh yes. How do we know that? Because mostly we recognize the subway stops, and I don't drive, so I know a lot of the subway stops. But I do think the idea of them finally getting out of that small city where everybody knows everybody and being a larger force in a big city, in a bigger scope, is awesome. The idea that as soon as Scream happened, when you get into Scream 2, they had already made a movie about Scream 1 called Stab, so you were watching a movie about the movie that made fun of movies. It layered up, it was really fun. But now, the fact that you go to New York and you see the paintings on the wall, and I mean, still better than some of the people we see painted on walls these days, but you see Ghostface painted on the wall, you see people in Ghostface costumes on the subway, like, he's gone from being this creature that haunted this town, or this image that haunted this town, to a phenomenon, almost, that people would talk about, like the way we talk about Candyman or the Boogeyman, or don't go camping, you might run into Jason Voorhees. I think you have to move it to a new place to show how far spread the fear of this character has gone. We open up the trailer. I'm going to finally get to the trailer with Ghostface not creeping around, not stalking around, not making the prototypical first opening scene phone call like we see in all the other movies. We see him just walking into a convenience store and murking people. Now, I want to go out on a limb here. There's the opening scene of this trailer is Ghostface going through, and I think he stabs 1 or 2 people, but then he grabs somebody's gun and just goes around shooting people with the mask, doing the heavy breathing, almost Michael Myers-esque. I want to think that this guy in this first opening scene of the trailer is not the actual Ghostface killer of the movie. It's just somebody who notices that this is a phenomenon, and if I'm going to go dressed as something, I might as well go dressed as this. So that we find out that later on in the trailer, the one that is doing the prototypical Ghostface call to Courtney Cox's character, Gail Weathers, the fact that she's a news person named Weathers, always great. Just corny enough to be in this movie. And the fact that later on in the trailer, they come across a shrine to Ghostface which means not only has this entity, this idea, because Ghostface isn't a person. I'm sorry, I'm rambling a little bit because I'm very excited. I just watched the trailer, I clicked off the trailer, and I clicked on my recording device, shall we say. But it's kind of cool to see that this character isn't a character. It's a moniker that people have handed down and taken up and handed down and picked up when it suited them, and maybe it meant something to them, maybe it didn't. Maybe they were in that town and they knew that character was going to strike fear in that town, and it would be an easy in for them. In the last, the brilliant thing about the last movie as well is the girl in the last one, whose name I can't remember because I'm a terrible person, was trying to reboot the series, so to speak, because the movies about what's happened in all the Scream movies have gotten really, really shit. So the idea that we need to have another killer so that killings can happen, so that the movies about the killer can get better, is such a twisted concept. I love it. But the fact that going out of that city and going into, like I say, I hate to say it in air quotes, but like going out to the big city and seeing how far this legend has gone, when this legend is not one person. It's a moniker, it's a crown, it's a costume, it's a name tag, it's a face when you don't want to show your face. And that's the brilliance of any masked villain, really. But the fact that it's gone so far, and it's gone all the way to New York, not just as a legend, but as something that somebody has a shrine to, is brilliant in a way, because it's all good to be feeling very claustrophobic in your own town, because, oh my god, why would I ever come back here? Why would I, that's where the evil lives, or, if I want to make an It comparison. But if you want to show that claustrophobic feeling of, oh my god, this only happens here, why the hell would we be here, is actually everywhere, that's a huge blow up in scope. It's the difference between when you watch the first Purge. The first Purge movie is very effective. I like all the Purge movies. The last one's a little bit ridiculous because I think they got really muddled in what message they were actually trying to send out, if I'm completely honest, because they wanted to know what woke message was appropriate that day. But the first Purge, the movement from the first Purge to the second Purge was a really important movie movement, in the sense that the first Purge showed you, hey, this is happening all over the world, but let us show you just one minuscule sample of it, and we'll just show you what happened in this one guy's house. Now you see how terrifying it is just to be in that guy's one house. Now imagining that multiplied by how many cities there are in the world. That going from A to B, showing like, okay, this is happening in this guy's house, but it can't be happening everywhere. Second movie comes along and says, yes, it is absolutely happening fucking everywhere. If everywhere is terrible, there's nowhere to go, etc., etc. Now, not only does that create the idea where the characters involved with the original, I can't think of the name of the city, fuck me, the original movie in the original town, like, not only does it give you the idea that those people can't escape because they have no safe place to go, it sort of puts the idea out there that nobody has any safe place to go. Because if New York has somebody inspired by Ghostface enough to have a shrine, and it looks like a big fucking warehouse and all that kind of thing, if New York has that, then Los Angeles has that, then Toronto has that, then, Winnipeg has that, then Tokyo has that. There's the option, like, you thought this was it. You thought going to that town and getting involved with those people was really going to fuck you up. So I'll get out of here. I'll leave town. But no, it's spread. It's like the fear virus. Like the way in the last two Halloween movies, they didn't acknowledge Michael Myers as a person so much as a virus that had infected the city. Not only the stuff that he was doing, but it was the stuff that it was making the city do. Now, there is no him or her with Ghostface, because Ghostface, as I keep saying, is a moniker that anybody can pick up. The fact that it isn't a person means that virus can spread 10 times as quickly. And I'm sorry, at this point, you saw it in Scream 2, when they were showing the screening of Scream 1, where Jada Pinkett gets what ultimately she deserved. Let's be real, look how toxic she is. And she gets stabbed in the gut in the middle of that theater, and everybody in that theater has a ghost face mask on. Everybody in the world could be the person that's going to kill you, or could be the person on that crowded subway you see at the end who's just on their way to a Halloween party. And that is way scarier. The fact that somebody could be calling you from outside your house, like the first one, is terrifying because you don't know where they're coming from, and you're all alone, and you've got no defenses, and all that kind of thing. The fact that you're in a convenience store, like the beginning of this trailer, with 2 or 3 people, and some knockoff ghost face comes in with a shotgun blowing everybody away. That's terrifying, because you're still kind of alone, and you're still kind of helpless, because you don't know who that person is. By the way, they have a gun, and you're only a couple of people. The fact that you walk through this world, through this life, and everybody you see in the Big Apple, in the big city, you know, Ghostface goes to the big city. I really wish that was the subtext of the title of this movie. Is the best psychological direction that this movie franchise, at reaching now 6 movies, could possibly go, in my opinion. I don't care if this movie is terrible, it's gonna be awesome. And the last bit of the phone call that you hear when he's on the phone with Gale Weathers, who's so sick of this shit, who starts off the conversation saying, you know, you're the 6th guy to do this to me today, do you think it's really funny? And like, he's actually standing behind her and says, yeah, but you've never seen a ghost face like me. That's a way to leave you hanging. That's the cliffhanger for the end of a trailer, to be like, okay, we know how awesome the ghost face character is, and now they're making it different. What the fuck are they going to do? I am ridiculously excited for this movie. I don't know if you can tell, I'm a little bit biased towards this franchise in general. I really want to know what you guys think. I really want to know what you guys think of the FLIX stuff that I'm doing. I really want to know, because it's never really been a trailer preview thing. It was used to, like I said, it used to be me and Kristen talking about movies, or analyzing the shit out of movies we'd seen, or DVDs that we had pulled off the shelf or whatever. I did the one solo review of the movie Megan. Go back and check that out. I did a review for the trailer for the movie Sick, which is on Peacock. I'm still reaching out to you guys if you guys know any way that I can watch Peacock content in Canada, because we don't have Peacock in Canada. I would really appreciate you throwing it down in the box below, or hitting me up on Twitter at Spaz Phoenix. But the trailer reaction stuff, just now only doing 2 of them, I really like this. This is like previewing a pay-per-view for me. Are you into the Scream series? Are you excited about Scream 6? Are you gonna be like me, IMAX theater, opening night, front row center? Because that's where the fuck I'm gonna be. Tell me if you're excited, tell me if you're not excited, but that's not nearly as exciting a conversation. I've been Spaz, this has been FLIX. I'm excited as hell. Subscribe up here, talk down there, start a conversation. Keep all these conversations going. Don't be a stranger. I will talk to each and every last one of you later, but for right now, I am out of here. Bye.